You wake up tired, unfocused, and already behind. The day hasn't even started, but your mind is scattered, dragged by worries, doubts, and endless to-do lists. Sound familiar? If so, you're not alone. Most people lose the battle for motivation and focus before they even step out of bed. Why? Because they let the world set their agenda instead of taking command themselves. Here's the truth. The reason you feel stuck, overwhelmed, or uninspired isn't because you're lazy or undisciplined. It's because you're missing one crucial step every morning, a step that separates the unfocused from the unstoppable. What is it? It's a powerful, simple ritual that clears away the noise and gives you total control over your mind, your mood, and your goals. When you start your morning with this practice, you silence distractions, sharpen your purpose, and tap into a source of energy that lasts all day. You stop drifting and start leading. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how to make this shift so you can wake up motivated, lock in your focus, and make every day count. Don't let another morning slip away. The change begins now. 1. Greet the day with resolve, not regret. Every morning brings a choice. We can look backward, clinging to failures and pain, or we can look forward, carrying nothing but resolve. The mind will try to return to yesterday's disappointments, to rehearse every slight and regret. But the strong know today is not a continuation of defeat unless we allow it. The first breath of morning is an act of creation. As Seneca warned, begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. In this new beginning, regret is a poison that weakens resolve. When you rise, let your first thought be this: I begin again, undefeated. In this, you gain the strength to meet anything that comes. Each dawn is the world's offer of a clean slate. Yet most people, chained to old failures and mistakes, drag the weight of regret into the new day. They relive pain that cannot be changed, replaying every error, every missed opportunity. Their minds, caught in a loop of self-reproach, turn morning into mourning. But regret is a trap disguised as reflection. The wise know that regret, once tasted, quickly poisons resolve. To look backward is to drain today's courage, to rob the present of its sharpest edge. Instead, we can stand at the threshold of day and choose resolve. To do this is to refuse yesterday's hold. The mind will try to return to old wounds. It is relentless in its search for comfort, even if comfort is found in suffering. But resolve is forged in turning away from the shadows of the past. It is saying, today, I carry nothing forward except my will. The strong do not deny what has happened, nor do they allow it to dictate who they become. They use regret as a warning, not a wound. They recognize that the first act of creation each morning is to declare the past finished. Seneca's wisdom is our guide. To live as if each day is a separate life is to be free. It means we do not allow defeat to spill from yesterday into today. We do not allow old fears to corrupt new ambitions. In this moment, we are undefeated, not because we have never failed, but because we refuse to be defined by failure. Let your first breath of morning be a declaration. I begin again. This is not denial, it is defiance. It is an act of strength to refuse regret's poison. The strong meet the day unburdened, their resolve sharpened by the knowledge that every moment is an act of creation. Regret, when left behind, becomes fuel for courage. So, greet the day not as a victim of the past, but as the architect of what comes next. Hold to resolve. Let regret die with the night. Each morning is a new beginning, a test, a chance, a battle to be won or lost. Stand firm. Begin again, undefeated. In this, you will find the strength to meet anything that comes. 2. Enter the silence before dawn, before the sun even considers its climb. When shadows still rule and the world holds its breath, a new day waits not as a gentle offering, but as an unspoken challenge. This hour is sacred, not because of the quiet outside, but because of the confrontation it demands within. The silence before dawn is not empty. It is thick with the questions we avoid, the truths we bury, the doubts we try to silence with noise and distraction. Most refuse to meet themselves in this hour. They bury their heads beneath pillows, seeking escape in sleep, afraid of what solitude might reveal. But those who dare to rise before the world, to stand alone with nothing but their own breath and heartbeat, find an unexpected ally, themselves. The ancients revered this threshold, the razor-thin line between night and day, ignorance and awareness, fear and resolve. It is here, before the world imposes its demands, that the soul is unmasked. No comforting lies survive this hour. No mask remains intact when you face yourself in the dark. The silence strips away pretense, exposing the truth of your ambitions and the weight of your regrets. There is no one to impress, no one to deceive, only the self, raw and unvarnished. Here, you must answer, who are you when the world is not watching? Are you master or captive of your thoughts? This is not a retreat from life, it is an advance. To enter the silence before dawn is to claim dominion over your mind, to accept that discipline is born in solitude, not in comfort. Discipline is not forged by easy victories or pleasant company, but in the quiet battle with doubt, fear, and laziness that takes place when no one else is there to witness it. It is in this hour that you learn the truth. Everything outside can be stripped away: possessions, status, even the regard of others. But what you build in silence, what you strengthen within, cannot be destroyed by any storm the world sends. Many will never know this kind of strength. They spend their lives running from their own company, seeking comfort in distraction and validation. But the mind that can sit quietly before dawn, that can bear its own scrutiny, becomes a fortress. The chaos of the world may rage outside, but within there is calm. The mind becomes not just a home, but a sanctuary, a place no force can breach. So each morning, when the world is still and shadows linger, enter the silence. Face yourself with honesty, and allow no lie to stand unchallenged. Make this hour your proving ground. Here, you are both the judge and the warrior. Every day you return, you emerge stronger. For in mastering the silence before dawn, you learn the only mastery that matters: mastery over yourself. 3. Stand guard at the gates of your mind. The world does not wait to test your defenses. Even before the day has properly begun, it sends worries, temptations, and the opinions of others crashing against you. Before your feet touch the floor, anxieties from yesterday and fears for tomorrow try to slip inside. Criticism, distraction, and the unending voices of the outside world wait like thieves at the door. If you do not stand guard at the gate of your mind, the day will be claimed by forces not your own. Most drift into the morning unprepared, believing they are safe in their own thoughts. But the world is not gentle. It does not knock politely. It barges in, sometimes disguised as urgent obligations, sometimes as the whispers of doubt or desire. One careless moment and your mind is invaded. The strong know this, and so they keep a vigilant watch. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each dawn that he would meet ignorance, greed, and anger, but that he could decide how to respond. This was his armor, the clear knowledge that nothing enters without his permission. Make this your first duty each day, to refuse entry to thoughts and fears that are not your own, to desires that lead you away from your path. Not every thought deserves a place at your table. Not every worry is worth your energy. The mind is a fortress, but only if you guard its gates. If you allow every passing fear, every borrowed anxiety, every idle distraction to enter, You will soon find yourself a stranger in your own mind, ruled by emotions and stories that are not truly yours. Let this be your morning oath. No thought enters without my permission. Refuse to let gossip, negativity, and the judgments of others set the tone for your day. If a thought serves no purpose, dismiss it. If a temptation calls you from your chosen path, close the gate. Stand firm against the invasion of doubts that do not belong to you. As the mind is defended, the spirit is strengthened. Each morning is a chance to renew this promise. The world will not stop testing you, not now, not ever. There will always be more opinions, more distractions, more pressures waiting to break through. But you are not defenseless. The guard at the gate is you. Your attention, your discipline, your resolve, these are your shield. With practice, the act of defending your mind becomes habit. Over time, you will notice fewer intrusions. The mind, once a battleground, becomes a place of peace. In this peace, you can focus, act with clarity, and live by your own values. The world outside may be chaotic, but inside, you are sovereign. Stand guard at the gates of your mind. Let nothing enter without your permission. In doing this, you become the master of your day, and the world will find no easy way in. 4. Declare your intention with ruthless honesty. Weakness hides in vague intentions. The mediocre drift, while the relentless decide. Each day, most people rise without a direction, hoping, waiting, letting the world decide what matters. They wander from task to task, chasing urgencies, but never knowing why they move. Their purpose is fog, their resolve is thin. Weakness thrives where intention is unclear. But the strong begin with a decision. To wake with purpose, you must speak it aloud, even if only to yourself. Do not let your day be claimed by accident. Ask yourself, with absolute honesty, what is the one thing I will not leave undone today? What truly matters above all else? To declare your intention is to commit to something more than comfort, more than ease, more than distraction. This is not an exercise in fantasy, but an act of ruthless honesty. To declare your intention, you must first be willing to face the truth of your ambitions and your limits. Do not lie to yourself about what you want. Do not pretend to aim for what you secretly fear to attempt. The mind is sharpened by truth and dulled by excuse. When you speak your intention, let it be clear, simple, and real. Anything less is a betrayal of your own strength. Epictetus taught that action without clear aim is wasted energy. How many days have vanished into nothing, lost to wandering, because you refused to declare what you were truly after? The world will always offer 1,000 distractions, 100 excuses not to try, not to risk, not to care. Only those with a defined intention can resist its pull. A mind without aim is like a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave, stranded by every storm. Write your intention each morning, however small. Let it become a promise between you and yourself. Accept the weight of seeing it through. In this commitment, there is power. The world cannot sway the one who knows where he is going. Distractions lose their grip. Doubt loses its voice. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstance. The moment you declare your intention, you draw a line in the sand. You separate what matters from what doesn't. You become a force small at first, but growing with every day you keep your word. Each act of intention, fulfilled, adds another stone to the fortress of your will. Most will never do this. They will avoid the discomfort of honesty, preferring the easy drift of unexamined days. But those who rise and declare, who hold themselves to the truth, these are the ones who change their fate. The mind is honed by clarity and destroyed by evasion. Do not hide from your own desire. Declare it, defend it, make it real. Only then does the day belong to you, not to the world. And only then can you look back, not with regret, but with pride at what you chose and what you became. 5. Embrace hardship as morning fuel. Weakness seeks comfort first. The soft mind looks for warmth, for ease, for anything that soothes rather than strengthens. But the strong begin with what is hardest. They see the cold, the difficult, the unpleasant, not as burdens, but as invitations to grow. Each morning you are given a choice, to take the familiar path of comfort or to seek out the road that tests you. The strong know that greatness is never built on comfort. Deliberately choose the path of most resistance. When the bed is warm and the morning is cold, rise anyway. When the mind recoils at the thought of challenge, move toward it. Let the first moments of your day become your training ground, a place where you forge resilience and discipline through action, not through wishful thinking. Musonius Rufus wrote, "Practice not only in theory, but in hardship. Wisdom is empty without the muscle that comes from lived struggle. The mind is sharpened by adversity, not by dreams. Every discomfort you face willingly in the morning is a debt you pay to avoid the misery of a weak mind later. The world is harsh, and life will test you whether you are ready or not. If you shrink from discomfort in the calm of morning, how will you stand when chaos arrives? Those who practice adversity before sunrise learn to greet the day with a spirit that cannot be broken. The mind trained in hardship does not panic when tested. It remains steady, ready, unyielding. Begin with what you fear, what you resist, what you want to delay. Do not hide from the difficult task, the challenging conversation, the cold water, or the harsh discipline. Mastery is built in the moments we do not want. These are the hours when weakness is defeated and strength is born. Every time you choose the hard thing, every time you do what is unpleasant, you build a mind that cannot be conquered by the trivial struggles of the day. Most will run from hardship, convincing themselves that comfort is their reward. But comfort, when pursued first, is a trap. It dulls the mind, softens the will, and breeds regret. The strong invert the order. They chase discomfort when they are at their strongest at the beginning of the day. In doing so, they build a reserve of fortitude for when true trials come. Do not let your first steps be easy ones. Step into the cold, lift the heavy burden, face the difficult task. Make hardship your fuel, not your enemy. Over time, what once felt unbearable will become routine, and you will find yourself unbothered by the discomforts that paralyze others. The mind trained in adversity before sunrise is the mind that cannot be conquered by the day. In hardship, you do not just endure, you grow. And as you grow, you discover that there is nothing the world can throw at you that you have not already faced and overcome by your own deliberate choice. 6. Practice the art of restraint. Desire is endless, but the mind is not. The morning is the furnace where restraint is forged. Every day begins with 1,000 invitations to indulge, to drift into easy pleasure, to chase idle thoughts, to listen to the comforting lies the mind offers when the world is still silent. Most surrender without a fight, thinking that a little indulgence, a small escape, is harmless. But each moment of weakness compounds. The one who does not practice restraint at the beginning of the day will find himself a slave to impulse before it is half over. To say no to the easy pleasure, the idle thought, the comforting lie, this is how we become sovereign over ourselves. Each refusal is a small victory, a declaration of freedom in a world determined to make us serve our cravings. The mind, when undisciplined, will lunge from one distraction to the next, never satisfied, always hungry. But the one who can withhold, who can delay gratification and silence the urge to act on every whim, becomes master instead of servant. As Cleanthes taught, "Lead me, O fate, and I will follow without complaint." But fate is not always kind, and pleasure is always close. Fate may bring hardship, delay, or discomfort, while the pleasures of idleness and comfort are always within reach, waiting to steal the morning's promise. The weak allow themselves to be led by desire, pulled from the present by temptation's gentle hand. The strong resist not because they do not feel desire, but because they know that to master restraint is to master freedom itself. Begin each day by choosing what you will not do. Write it down if you must. Refuse the easy path, the second helping, the soothing distraction. Choose silence over chatter, effort over comfort, patience over instant reward. Each act of restraint is an act of rebellion against slavery to impulse. Each is a conscious reminder that your mind is not a battlefield to be conquered by every passing want. And in this rebellion, you are remade. Restraint is not a denial of life's pleasures, but a refusal to be ruled by them. It is the discipline to recognize that every pleasure comes with a price, and every indulgence is a lesson waiting to teach you about limits. To practice restraint is to understand yourself, to know where your weaknesses lie, to confront them, and to overcome them with deliberate choice. The morning is your proving ground. With every temptation refused, you build a reserve of willpower that carries you through the rest of the day. You become less vulnerable to the noise and chaos that the world will throw at you. You become steady, unshakable, calm. Desire is endless, but your time is not. Restraint is your defense, your declaration of independence from everything that would control you. Practice it each morning and watch as you gain not just discipline, but true freedom, freedom from the tyranny of your own desires and the quiet power to live on your own terms. 7. Welcome discomfort with gratitude. Pain is not the enemy. Discomfort, failure, even humiliation, these are the teachers the world sends when we are ready to grow. Most run from discomfort, imagining that pain is something to be avoided, a sign that something is wrong. But the truth is harsher and more liberating. Discomfort is the price of growth, the signal that you are pushing against the limits of who you were yesterday. To flinch from discomfort is to deny yourself the strength that hardship brings. Every time you step away from challenge, you step further from your own potential. The strongest among us are not those who have avoided pain, but those who have made an ally of it. The wise greet each setback with gratitude, understanding that each sting, each failure, each moment of humiliation is a lesson, a sharpening stone for the mind, a test for the will. What stands in the way becomes the way, as was said by those who understood that fortune favors the prepared mind. Every morning you are given a choice. Will you seek the warmth of comfort, or will you lean into the chill of discomfort, knowing that is where strength is built? Let your first act each day be a conscious step into something you would rather avoid. Rise before you are ready. Choose the difficult task over the easy one. Embrace the cold, the silence, the uncertainty. Each small discomfort you face willingly is an act of gratitude, an acknowledgement that you are willing to be shaped by the world rather than coddled by it. Most people shrink from discomfort, waiting for life to become easier before they decide to act. They wish for softer days, lighter burdens, gentler circumstances. But the wise know that comfort is not the goal. Growth is. To welcome discomfort is to declare that you are not finished becoming. It is to say, I am not afraid to be tested. In time, you will find yourself unbothered by things that once defeated you. What once seemed unbearable becomes routine. What once humiliated you now strengthens you. Pain loses its power when you stop fearing it. Discomfort becomes a familiar companion, a signpost that you are moving forward, not standing still. The day will bring trials whether you seek them or not. But the one who trains in discomfort each morning meets these trials with a mind already prepared. The sting is less, the lesson is clearer, and the will is unbroken. So, Seek out a small discomfort each day. Welcome it as you would a stern teacher, knowing it has come to show you what you are capable of surviving and overcoming. In this practice, you develop a gratitude that is deeper than happiness, steadier than pleasure. It is the gratitude of the unbreakable, the calm thanks of someone who knows that nothing can defeat them unless they allow it. Welcome discomfort. Let it shape you. Let it teach you. And in time, you will discover that what once caused you to stumble now gives you the strength to stand taller than ever before. 8. Visualize the battle ahead. Do not stumble into the day blind. The mind must be prepared for what may come. Criticism, temptation, loss, or praise. The world is a battlefield, and every sunrise signals another round of trials, some obvious, others hidden, all demanding your attention and your resolve. The one who walks into the day unprepared is already halfway to defeat. Most move from the comfort of their solitude into the noise of the world with no preparation, no plan, no vision for how they will meet what comes. They hope for a gentle day, wish for ease, and curse their misfortune when life turns harsh. But the strong understand the only thing more dangerous than adversity is to be surprised by it. The warrior does not hope for an easy fight, he prepares for the hardest. He imagines the pain, the loss, the temptations that might appear, and then he rehearses how he will respond. Before you leave your solitude, take time to visualize the battles you may face. See in your mind the critic's words, the tempting shortcuts, the moments of loss, the applause that could lure you into arrogance. Imagine these trials as vividly as possible. Do not flinch from the worst possibilities. Instead, see yourself responding with calm, with principle, with fortitude. Visualize yourself unmoved by insult, steadfast in the face of failure, humble before praise, indifferent to temptation. The mind must walk the path before the body can follow. As Epictetus wrote, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This is not fantasy. It is mental armor. Visualization is the silent rehearsal of virtue. It is a training ground where you can fail safely, learn without consequence, and refine your response before the world puts you to the test. When the mind has already traveled the hard road, the feet do not stumble when the real thing arrives. Every morning, build this armor strong. See the day's difficulties before they see you. Practice your composure, your discipline, your refusal to be dragged off course by what others do or say. Rehearse your victory, not as arrogance, but as preparation, so that when adversity comes, your response is already chosen. The blows that would have surprised you now find you ready. The world is relentless. It will test you with distraction, insult, disappointment, and sometimes even praise that seduces you away from your path. But the one who visualizes these trials in advance becomes a master strategist, unshaken, unhurried, immune to surprise. Do not begin the day hoping for luck or easy fortune. Begin as the warrior does, with eyes wide open, mind sharpened, heart prepared. Visualization is not weakness or retreat. It is the highest discipline, a promise to yourself that you will meet what comes with clarity and with courage. Each morning, put on your mental armor. Walk through your battles before you face them, and when you step into the world, let nothing catch you unprepared. 9. Separate what you can control from what you cannot. Most suffering is born of confusion, struggling against what cannot be changed. The mind wages a silent war, battling forces far beyond its grasp, exhausting itself on problems that belong to fate, not to will. Each day, countless worries, doubts, and anxieties try to claim your attention, but only a few are worthy. Most are illusions, phantoms that vanish when confronted by clear judgment. The wise know that power is found in discernment, not in endless effort. The mind wastes itself on what is outside its grasp, obsessing over the weather, the choices of others, the outcome of distant events. The world is full of chaos, much of it indifferent to your desire or struggle. To fight what cannot be changed is to bleed for nothing. Each morning, make a list. What is in my control and what is not? The former deserves your full effort, the latter your indifference. This simple act of clarity is the foundation of peace. It is the first wall built against unnecessary suffering. The Stoics called this the discipline of assent, assenting only to reality, not to illusion. If you can act, act. If not, let go. There is strength in knowing the difference. This is not resignation, but power. It is not weakness to turn away from what cannot be altered. It is wisdom, hard-earned and often ignored by the restless. To move only where your action counts is to be unbeatable. When you spend your strength wisely, focusing only on the fields where your decisions matter, you become impossible to defeat by circumstance. Most people scatter their energy, pouring themselves into complaint, resentment, and endless speculation. They chase what they cannot hold and curse what refuses to be bent. Their days are lost in frustration, their nights haunted by regrets that never yield to sleep. But the strong draw a line each morning. They give their full self only to what can be shaped by their hand and heart. The rest they release like smoke. Remind yourself daily, let me focus my energy only where it can shape the world. When you begin with this clarity, disappointment loses its sting. The storms of fate may rage, but your mind remains an island untouched by the tides. You do not waste tears on what cannot hear you. You do not waste strength on what will not move. Over time, this discipline becomes habit. Suffering lessens. Clarity grows. The world will always hurl distractions and false alarms your way, but you will meet them with calm, choosing action when you can and serenity when you cannot. Let this be your morning ritual, to separate what is yours from what is not, to give your best to what you can control, and to release the rest without regret. Here lies true power, the unbreakable mind that refuses to fight shadows and instead shapes the day with deliberate, focused intent. 10. Remind yourself, all is temporary. The world is in flux. Nothing remains unchanged, and no state, however sweet or bitter, can last forever. Joy, pain, triumph, defeat, all pass in their time. Yet most people suffer because they cling. They clutch at fleeting moments of happiness, desperate to make them permanent, and recoil from pain, hoping to banish it forever. But to grip tightly to any state, to refuse to let the world move, is to guarantee suffering. The current of life is relentless. It carries all things away, whether we resist or accept. Each morning, meditate on impermanence. As you rise, remind yourself that nothing you feel, nothing you possess, and nothing you fear will endure forever. The warmth of the sun on your face, the sharpness of pain in your chest, the sting of loss, the glow of victory all fade. It is the nature of all things to change. What rises, falls. What comes, goes. This knowledge, though it may seem somber, is a source of immense strength. When you accept impermanence, you gain humility in success. If you achieve greatness, remember that fortune turns quickly. Do not let pride make you blind, nor arrogance fool you into thinking you have mastered fate. Everything you hold can be swept away in a moment. Let your victories be met with gratitude, not boastfulness, and know that you are merely passing through this life, not owning any piece of it. This same knowledge breeds resilience in failure. When pain comes, when you are struck by disappointment or betrayal, remember, this too will pass. No wound lasts forever. Time dulls the sharpest sting, softens the harshest blow. If you remember that suffering is as temporary as joy, you will not be crushed by your defeats. They are seasons, not sentences. Let pain come and let it go. And so you cultivate gratitude in both joy and sorrow. You learn to appreciate beauty, not because it is eternal, but because it is brief. You savor the warmth of a smile, the peace of a quiet morning, the strength found in hardship, knowing that each is a gift that cannot be hoarded, only cherished as it passes by. Time is a river, wrote Marcus Aurelius. Everything is swept away. To live wisely is to stand on the shore, watching the waters of experience flow past, accepting what comes and releasing what goes. If all is fleeting, then do not cling to victory, nor despair in loss. This is the source of quiet strength, a mind unmoved by change. As you begin each day, hold this truth close: nothing lasts. Meet fortune and misfortune with equal calm. Celebrate, but do not cling. Endure, but do not despair. In impermanence you will find peace, and in peace you will discover an unshakable resilience. The world changes, but you remain steady, watchful, and free. 11. Align your actions with your values. To live by impulse is to betray yourself. The world tempts you every moment to abandon what you know is right for what is easy, pleasurable, or praised by others. But a life built on impulse is a life without anchor, a life adrift in a sea of changing desires and passing opinions. Each morning, before the world can pull you into its current, recall the values you wish to embody: courage, justice, self-control, wisdom. These are not just words. They are the foundation stones of character, the invisible pillars that hold up the fortress of your soul. Remind yourself, the day will try to seduce you away from these values. There will be moments when fear whispers for you to turn back, when anger urges you to strike out, when comfort calls you to settle for less. There will be temptations to cut corners, to speak when you should remain silent, to stay silent when you should speak. It is in these moments that your resolve is truly tested. The weak let the day decide for them. The strong decide once and then act. As the day unfolds, measure your choices against these standards, not against the opinions of others. The approval of the crowd is a moving target, sometimes with you, sometimes against. Zeno taught that virtue is the only good. All else is nothing. Your reputation, your pleasure, your comfort, these are shadows. They are not bad in themselves, but they are nothing compared to the quiet certainty of living in accordance with your own principles. Let your deeds be shaped by the values you choose, not by what is easy or expected. Do not allow the fear of judgment or the promise of reward to sway you from the path you know is right. Your actions are your testament. Each one is a brushstroke in the portrait of your life. Live so that, when you look back, you see a pattern not of compromise, but of consistency, a red thread of virtue running through every day. Most people live in fragments, pulled apart by conflicting desires and the shifting winds of circumstance. They do what feels good now and wonder why they feel empty later. The strong choose a standard and hold to it, even when it costs them something in the moment. This is the price of self-respect. In the quiet of morning, recommit to your values. Write them down. Speak them aloud. Imagine what it would mean to live one full day with courage, justice, self-control, and wisdom guiding every step. Let this vision guide you, not just when it is easy, but especially when it is hard. In this, you become unbreakable. You forge a spirit that no criticism can shake, no temptation can corrupt. To live by your values, even when the world offers you every reason to betray them, is to claim the only true freedom there is, the freedom to be the master of yourself. 12. Strengthen your will with small acts. Great victories are the sum of small, unseen battles. The world celebrates the moments of triumph, the decisive win, the bold breakthrough, the visible achievement, but overlooks the quiet work that makes them possible. Each morning, true strength is built in obscurity, where no applause is heard and no witness stands by. To forge an indomitable will, you must begin with the smallest acts, often when no one is watching and no one will ever know. Each day, commit to one act of willpower, however minor it may seem. It does not have to be a grand gesture or a heroic feat. It can be as simple as rising before comfort urges you to stay. It can be beginning a task before you are ready, refusing the urge to complain, or choosing to hold your tongue when anger tempts you to lash out. These acts are not meaningless. They are the building blocks of an indomitable will. Each one is a declaration that not your mood, not your impulses are in command. As the mind is strengthened in the smallest of things, it becomes mighty in the greatest. Do not wait for a crisis or a public challenge to test your resolve. The habits you build in quiet moments become your armor when the world tests you openly. When you say yes to discipline in small matters, you create a pattern that will hold firm when storms arise, Heraclitus wrote. Character is destiny. Destiny is not shaped by a single dramatic decision, but by countless small choices made every day. Every act of will, no matter how small, is a step toward the person you are becoming. A mind that conquers itself in the little things is a mind prepared for whatever battles may come. Do not despise the humble beginning. The urge to dismiss the significance of small victories is strong. Most people look for instant results, for proof that their efforts are not wasted. But greatness is patient. Greatness understands that a mountain is built pebble by pebble, and that the habits of today become the strength of tomorrow. Let every act of discipline, no matter how small, be honored as a step on the path to mastery. If you fail, begin again. The journey is not about never faltering, but about never giving up. Each day is a new chance to practice strength. The small acts matter because they are the foundation on which all larger triumphs stand. Over time, you will look back and see that greatness is nothing more than discipline practiced each day. The victories you win over yourself in the silence of morning will echo through the challenges that follow. By choosing to strengthen your will in the smallest of ways, you build a life that cannot be broken by circumstance, a character that is truly your destiny. 13. Cultivate inner calm. Noise is everywhere outside and within. The world is restless before you even rise, filled with demands, alarms, opinions, and worries that threaten to spill into your mind. Your own thoughts, too, can be loud and relentless. Anxieties, doubts, expectations, regrets. In a life where chaos is so easily inherited, the greatest advantage is not speed or strength, but calm. The morning is the time to seek stillness. Before you are claimed by the day, make space for quiet. This is not idleness, but a deliberate act of discipline. To sit with yourself, to breathe and let the mind settle, is to refuse the tyranny of haste. Watch your thoughts as they arise, without judgment or attachment. Allow them to pass like clouds crossing a silent sky. Some will be pleasant, others disturbing, but all are fleeting. In this simple ritual, you begin to separate your true self from the noise that surrounds you. The world will try to drag you into its chaos, but you are not obliged to follow. Most are swept away by the rush of events and the force of others' opinions. They react to every disturbance, living in a state of constant agitation. But calm is the weapon of the strong. It is the shield that keeps you from being battered by every gust of wind, every careless word, every disappointment. No man is free who is not master of himself, said the philosophers of old. Mastery is not about domination, but about composure. When you are calm within, the world loses its power to provoke or unseat you. In the stillness, you find freedom. You become the calm center in the storm of the day, an island of steadiness in a world addicted to motion. Others may wonder at your peace, may even resent it, but they will know they cannot move you. Make it a ritual each morning to sit in silence, even if only for a few moments. Let your breath anchor you. Let the quiet deepen. Listen to what stirs within you, but do not rush to fix or judge. Calm is not indifference, nor is it escape. It is presence without panic, acceptance without surrender. In this, you are untouchable. You will discover that your thoughts, your feelings, and the noise around you are not the masters of your fate. You are free to choose your response, to remain steady no matter the circumstances. This calm is not easily won, nor is it permanent. It must be practiced, renewed each day as the world tries to claim you. But with practice, calm becomes your second nature. You meet adversity without alarm, success without arrogance, loss without despair. You become a force, quiet, yet unbreakable. In the silence of morning, cultivate your inner calm. It will follow you through every storm and make you unshakable in the eyes of the world. 14. Turn comparison into motivation. It is easy to measure your worth against others. The world offers endless opportunities to compare, to weigh your progress against your neighbor, your victories against strangers, your struggles against the polished illusions of those you barely know. But comparison, when left unchecked, is a double-edged blade. It is a thief of joy and a poison that blinds you to your own power. Envy is subtle. It seeps into the mind in small moments when you witness another's success, when you see someone praised for what you have quietly done, when you believe you have fallen behind. Left unchallenged, envy corrodes the spirit. It makes you resentful of others and blind to the gifts and progress you already possess. The only useful comparison is between who you are and who you wish to become. Each morning, recall the progress you have made and the work still to do. Let gratitude and humility walk with you as you survey your journey. Do not resent another's success, nor gloat in your own. The wise understand that every person walks a different path, and every triumph is marked by unseen struggle. To envy another is to misunderstand the nature of growth. Your path is your own. It is shaped by your choices, your failures, your perseverance, and your vision for who you can become. Instead of letting the success of others diminish you, use it as fuel. Let their achievements remind you of what is possible, not of what you lack. The wise use the achievements of others as inspiration, not as chains. Every story of triumph can become a torch that lights your own way forward, if you choose to see it as a lesson rather than a threat. Look well into thyself, said the ancients. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. Comparison is only useful when it turns your gaze inward, when it encourages honest reflection on your own habits, choices, and ambitions. Every morning, ask yourself, have I moved closer to the person I wish to become? What small victory did I earn yesterday? What weakness can I turn into strength today? Measure yourself not against the world, but against your own potential. Resist the urge to judge your journey by the speed or direction of others. Some paths are winding, some straight. Some victories are won quietly, others in a blaze of light. Do not waste energy resenting what is not yours to control. Do not let pride blind you to what is left to learn. Stand tall in your own story, knowing that your greatest competition is the person you were yesterday. Your path is your own. Walk it with pride, with purpose, and with your eyes fixed firmly on your own growth. Let comparison, when it comes, be your servant, not your master. In this, you find both freedom and relentless motivation to keep moving forward. 15. Speak little, observe much. Morning is the time for preparation, not proclamation. In the first quiet hours, the world is not asking for your opinion, nor does it reward those who rush to fill the silence with words. The fool speaks first, eager to display what he knows. The wise observe, gathering knowledge, understanding, and strength in the stillness. Those who are swift to speak are often slow to learn, missing what happens beneath the surface while their own voice drowns out the lessons of the world. Throughout the day, let your words be few, but your mind alert. Discipline your tongue as you would your body. Resist the urge to respond to every provocation or to offer commentary on every trivial matter. Words, once spoken, cannot be retrieved. They can ignite conflict, reveal weaknesses, or waste energy that would be better spent in thought and preparation. The strong recognize that each word carries weight, and they spend them sparingly. As you move into the world, watch before you act, listen before you speak. There is power in pausing, in letting others reveal themselves first. You see more by listening than by speaking, and you understand more by watching than by acting in haste. Silence is not weakness, it is discipline. In the silence, you gather information, judge character, and recognize opportunities that the loud and restless overlook. The wise let others underestimate them, preferring to reveal their intentions through decisive action rather than empty words. The philosophers taught that much wisdom is lost in idle talk. The mind is scattered when the mouth runs unchecked. Instead, let your attention be sharp and your speech deliberate. Ask yourself before you speak, is this necessary? Does it build or does it diminish? Will my words serve my purpose or merely satisfy my need to be heard? Use each morning to remind yourself, let my actions speak louder than my words. This is the quiet resolve of the strong, a habit that forms a shield against misunderstanding and a weapon against the chaos of others. In the world's noise, the calm and silent are often mistaken for indifferent or weak, but those who know the value of restraint understand the depth of their own power. Let your silence unsettle those who expect reaction, and let your observation prepare you for whatever the day brings. The less you say, the more you can see. In every encounter, let patience be your guide and silence your ally. Save your words for when they matter most, and let your deeds be your true statement to the world. Morning is your rehearsal for this discipline. Begin in silence, carry it with you, and end the day with your wisdom intact. In the world of endless noise, to speak little and observe much is to possess a secret strength, a quiet confidence that nothing is lost by listening and much is gained by restraint. 16. Practice gratitude without expectation. To be thankful only for good fortune is to remain a child. The world teaches most to offer thanks only when things are easy, when fortune smiles and plans go as hoped. But such gratitude is fragile, disappearing the moment hardship arrives. It is a shallow habit, one that clings to comfort and crumbles when tested. The strong know better. They practice gratitude for all things, knowing that each brings its lesson, that every moment, pleasant or painful, shapes the mind in ways comfort never could. Each morning, give thanks not for what you desire, but for what you have. Begin with the simple act of being alive, with breath in your lungs and another day to strive. Give thanks for the roof above you, the food before you, the quiet moments, the challenges yet unseen, and even more, give thanks for the hardships and the pain that shapes you. It is adversity, not ease, that carves strength from weakness and wisdom from ignorance. Musonius Rufus wrote, "We must be grateful to those who make us better, even through adversity. Let that gratitude extend to the people who challenge you, the circumstances that force you to grow, the setbacks that sharpen your resolve. See every trial as a tutor sent to reveal the limits of your patience, courage, and understanding. The one who is grateful only for comfort remains at the mercy of fate. The one who finds gratitude in adversity cannot be broken. Gratitude is not a transaction, but a transformation. It is not the bargain that says, 'I will be thankful if I am given what I want.' Rather, it is the silent promise, I will be thankful for what I am given, knowing it is what I need. This is how gratitude lifts the mind above circumstance. When fortune is good, it becomes humility. When fate is cruel, it becomes resilience. Each day will bring reasons to complain, to wish for more, to resent what is missing. The world will tempt you to compare, to focus on lack rather than abundance. But begin each day in thanks, and you cannot be defeated by disappointment. Disappointment loses its sting when you expect nothing, yet find value in everything. When you are grateful without expectation, you are armored against both arrogance in success and bitterness in loss. Let gratitude be your first discipline of the day. Speak it aloud, write it down, or simply hold it quietly within. Be grateful for your strengths, and even more for your weaknesses, for they reveal what still must be learned. Thank the day, not because it is perfect, but because it is yours to use. To practice gratitude without expectation is to choose the higher ground, to refuse to be mastered by events. It is the mind's rebellion against fate and fortune. In this practice, you will find an invincible peace, a steady joy that nothing, not even the world's worst storms, can ever take away. 17. Prepare for insult and adversity. Each day brings the chance for offense, an insult, a betrayal, a setback. The world, for all its beauty, is full of those who wound without reason, who lash out from ignorance, envy, or pain of their own. No one walks through life untouched by the careless word, the deliberate slight, or the silent sting of being misunderstood or maligned. To expect a day free from adversity is to dream of a world that does not exist. But the wise prepare for this in advance. They do not step into the day with naive hope that all will be gentle and fair. Instead, they armor themselves with expectation. He who expects nothing, wrote the philosophers, is never disappointed. This is not cynicism, but realism, a recognition that offense and adversity are part of the human condition, as certain as the sunrise. In the morning, rehearse the slights you may face. Imagine the careless comment, the overlooked effort, the betrayal from someone you trusted, the unexpected setback. See them before they arrive. Decide now not to be disturbed when they do. The mind that anticipates insult is not caught off guard. It is steady, prepared, and unmoved. The strong do not deny the possibility of pain. They face it, rehearse it, and thus diffuse it. The opinions of others are theirs, not yours. You cannot control what another person says, does, or believes. Their insults, their judgments, their betrayals belong to them. They are reflections of their own struggles, their own fears, their own wounds. Do not make them your own. Their words cannot reach the fortress of a disciplined mind. Train yourself to be indifferent to praise and insult alike. Both are fleeting. Both are shaped by the shifting moods of others. Let neither make or unmake you. The one who is not moved by insult is truly free, free from the tyranny of other people's opinions, free from the need for approval, free from the wounds that only pierce when you allow them entry. This freedom is not granted by luck or temperament. It is built, stone by stone, with daily preparation. Each morning remind yourself, today I may be criticized, ignored, or betrayed. Let me meet it with calm, not anger, with understanding, not resentment. When you encounter offense, pause before you react. Remember your preparation. Let the insult pass over you like wind over stone. The world is full of those who wound without reason, but it is also full of those who walk untouched, who carry themselves with quiet strength and inner peace. Choose to be among them. Prepare your mind for insult and adversity, not with bitterness, but with acceptance and resolve. In this, you find an invincible strength. The opinions of others become as harmless as shadows. Your mind, disciplined and prepared, becomes a fortress unassailable and truly free. 18. Take full responsibility for the day. No one else is coming to save you. The world is indifferent to your wishes and deaf to your complaints. There will be no hero appearing at the last moment, no mysterious force that rights your course or shields you from hardship. The strong do not wait for rescue. They do not blame fate, or others, or the world. They meet each day as its sole architect, fully aware that only they can decide what will be built and what will be torn down. Each morning, take full responsibility for what you will do and what you will endure. It is tempting to hide behind excuses, to let the weight of failure settle on the shoulders of circumstance or the actions of others. Excuses are for the weak. They erode your strength, leaving you helpless before the tides of chance and the whims of others. Each excuse you offer is a stone in your own prison, a denial of the freedom that could be yours if you only claimed it. As the day unfolds, remind yourself, this is within my power. You may not choose what happens to you, but you always choose how you respond. You decide the effort you give, the attitude you bring, the discipline you uphold. Even in suffering, you can choose endurance over despair, action over complaint. In this, you become the master of your fate, not because you control the world, but because you control yourself. Responsibility is the seed of power. It is the foundation on which freedom is built. When you own your choices, you break the chains of dependency and expectation. The strong do not wait for perfect conditions or universal approval. They move forward, accepting that mistakes and setbacks are part of the cost of action. To take responsibility is to say, I am not owed an easy day, but I am always capable of meeting what comes. If it is endurable, then endure it, wrote Marcus Aurelius. If it is not, then stop complaining. Complaints are the language of the powerless, the anthem of those who would rather be victims than victors. When you take responsibility, you cut through the noise of blame and regret. You look your circumstances in the eye and say, I will meet you on my terms. In owning your choices, you reclaim your freedom. You realize that the day is not something that happens to you, but something you shape with your hands and mind. Every victory and every defeat, every joy and every sorrow is yours to meet, to accept, and to use as fuel for growth. So, rise each morning as the sole master of your destiny. Accept the full weight of your choices, your actions, and your endurance. Let responsibility be your shield, your engine, and your guiding star. In this, you will find not only power, but the freedom that belongs only to those who claim their life as their own. 19. End with the awareness of mortality. The morning is sacred because it is not guaranteed. We wake and assume that the sun will rise for us again tomorrow, that our routines will continue unbroken, that time is ours to squander. But each new beginning is a reminder, silent but certain, that life is brief and uncertain. One day, there will be no more dawns for us. The philosophers called this contemplation of mortality, a practice as old as wisdom itself. To remember that you may not see another morning is not to fall into despair, but to live more fiercely, more awake, more grateful for the fragile flame that burns inside you. Most move through the day as if time is infinite, as if each moment is just another in an endless chain. But the strong pause, even in the freshness of the morning, and recognize that this breath, this sunrise, this chance is a gift that will one day be gone. As you begin, let this truth focus your attention, sharpen your gratitude, and harden your resolve. Let it remind you to speak honestly, to act bravely, to love deeply, and to waste nothing. Life is not measured by the length of our days, but by the intensity with which we live them. You could leave life right now, wrote the emperor philosopher. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Imagine how differently you would approach each task, each conversation, each decision, if you knew the end was close, because In truth, it always is. Contemplation of mortality is not a morbid exercise. It is a clarifying force. It strips away the trivial and reveals what matters most. Petty grievances lose their grip. Anger softens. Jealousy and regret seem foolish in the face of finality. You are left with only what is essential, the desire to live meaningfully, to leave nothing important unsaid, to become the best version of yourself before time runs out. With this awareness, distractions lose their appeal. The small anxieties that gnaw at your mind each morning shrink before the reality that you may not have another day to waste. Gratitude becomes deeper because you understand the scarcity of what you hold. Each morning, thank the dawn for coming, but do not assume it will come again. Let this awareness sharpen your sense of urgency, not in panic, but in presence. When you carry the awareness of mortality, you become unstoppable. You do not put off difficult choices. You do not wait to mend what is broken, to speak what must be said, to risk what must be risked. There is a deep power in living, as if the end might come at any moment. Fear fades, courage grows, and life takes on a brightness that comfort and routine can never provide. So, end each morning's reflection with this simple truth. Nothing is promised, not even one more sunrise. Let that guide your words, your actions, your love, and your ambition. In this, you live fully and leave nothing important undone. 20. Return to the silence stronger than before. When the world finally awakens and chaos stirs, you are already transformed. The noise grows, demands rise, and the outside world begins its restless search for your attention. But you are not lost in the scramble. You are not pulled in every direction, reacting blindly to every new disturbance. The one who began in silence, in struggle, in truth, now meets the day with unyielding focus and unshakable calm. While others scramble to catch up, you have already claimed the high ground. You have built a foundation the world cannot shake. You are not the same as you were when you woke. The quiet victories of the early morning, hard won and unseen, have shaped you into someone new. Each morning, you are reborn, not as the person who stumbled from bed, uncertain and unguarded, but as one hardened by discipline, lifted by gratitude, protected by intention. The work you have done in solitude prepares you for the battles of the day. The fears you faced, the temptations you resisted, the intentions you declared, these are now your armor. Others enter the day unprepared, rushing to meet its demands without having first mastered themselves. They are pushed and pulled by every passing mood, every urgent request, every stray thought, but you have already done the hard work. You have forged your mind in silence. Your thoughts are your own, not borrowed from the noise outside. Your will is steady, your purpose clear. You are the calm center in the eye of the world's storm. This is the secret most will never know. Every day can be conquered if you win the battle before it begins. Victory is not found in the noise and chaos, but in the discipline and intention with which you rise. When you take the time to meet yourself, to examine your mind, to choose your values and your focus, you claim a power that no outside force can touch. You are no longer at the mercy of the world. You are the architect of your own mind. Let the world hurry. Let others chase distraction, drown in complaint, or be driven by fear. You have learned to return to the silence stronger than before. The calm you cultivate in the morning is your weapon against the turmoil of the day. The gratitude you practice shields you from disappointment. The intentions you set keep you from wandering. You are not perfect, but you are prepared. You are not immune to hardship, but you are resilient. So, as the day unfolds, carry the silence with you. Let it steady your hand and clear your mind. Let it remind you, in every challenge and temptation, that you have already overcome the hardest part, the struggle with yourself. In this, you become unbreakable. Each morning, return to the silence. Each day, emerge stronger than before. In the end, we are not at the mercy of the world. We are, always and only, the architects of our